rescue op. Save the dinosaurs from an island that's about to explode. What could go wrong?
Welcome to Fallen Kingdom, where returns to Jurassic World 1 minute at a time. I'm Brad.
I'm Dave.
And in this episode we're discussing minute 18 of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Before we get to that, something different, heading over to Wikipedia. Very briefly, just an article here on the Sierra Nevada mountains. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
This is where Owen's cabin's set here. Funnily enough, where some scenes with Owen take place in Dominion. I wouldn't call it an argument, but had a discussion with some other fans on Twitter recently. Apparently it seems like Colin's done it again, and the cabin in Dominion is supposed to be this cabin we see here in Fallen Kingdom, which landscapes do not match. Again, it's another Jurassic World Visitor Centre incident. But we'll get to that in a minute when we get to Owen's cabin. Again, just a bit of a write-up here on the mountains itself. Bit of a mountain range. It's handy just sort of seeing where Northern California, where we are, just to sort of get that mental picture. We know Lockwood's estate's closer to the coast here, and then where we get to in Dominion with Owen riding around chasing after the parasaurs. So I just thought it would be a good little article to add in for this minute. But that's about as far as we need to go with that. Dave, when you went up to Eureka, you didn't go any further north, did you?
Oh, yeah. I did. I definitely. Actually, I think I may have been a little further north. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's part of the. I was in the Cascade Mountains, which are just a little bit north of the. I don't really understand how they separate the two, but yeah.
Well, yeah, me not being a local at all.
They all kind of seemed like the same mountain range to me. But yeah, it was because I passed Lassen Peak, which is in the Lassen Volcanic National Park, which is like on the very southern end of the Cascade Range, and it's basically the Sierra Nevadas.
Yeah. And as someone not local, I'm saying this as if it's a few miles apart, where it's probably 1,000 miles from where you were at Eureka up to there. So
not even. I mean, it's like just like maybe not even 100 miles north.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Although all the winding roads would probably take you a while to drive it up and down the mountain ranges.
Because the way I went through is, the Lassen Volcanic National Park is at like the very southern end. It's basically the southern border of the Cascade Mountains and the northern border of the Sierra Nevada Mountains. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yes and no, I was in the Sierra Nevada.
One way or another, a very beautiful place of the world for what we see here and in Dominion.
Does he have children? I thought I saw, was there a little girl?
He has a grandchild. His daughter died in a car accident.
That's awful.
Yeah, I know. But they're very close. Really close.
Dave, ready to get into minute 18?
Sure.
Alright, minute 18 of Fallen Kingdom opens with Mills learning of Blue's name and ends with Owen singing to himself. As we continue into minute 18, Mills starts his spiel about how important Blue is. I guess looking back at last minute, he didn't know her name. Again, just being ignorant or whatever. It wouldn't matter if she's the last raptor in existence. I'm saying Ted Levine. What's the character's name?
Why am I drawing a blank?
Yeah, I don't know. Just Ted Levine.
It's Ken Wheatley.
Oh, Wheatley. That's the one. Yeah, I probably should start doing that once we get to it.
It's my Friday night, so I'm a little out of it.
Yeah. Because I think later on when he's discussing Blue, he does just say that raptor.
The Raptor Wrangler.
Oh, it's going to be fun when we get there. Mills says Blue is now the second most intelligent species on the planet, last of her kind. She must be preserved. Okay. Claire counters with, she can pick up your scent a mile off. You'll never capture her. Mills knows that because they've obviously already tried. As the music begins to swell, we move in on Mills saying he was hoping Claire knew someone that could help. Maybe you could convince him, which sort of gives us the knowing that he's already tried. He knows exactly who they need, and they need Claire to convince Owen to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But that ends us off with Lockwood Manor and everything that's happened there.
I will say that people Mills said Blue was the last of her kind. Surprise, surprise, the liar is a liar. Like, I mean, he lied pretty much about everything in this movie, so don't be surprised that the liar is a liar.
Mm. But that's the end of the Lockwood stuff for the foreseeable future. A lot of world building, a lot of extra mythology adding to the franchise. The franchise there, and it's going to continue as we get back there later. But we get a transition with the music to Owen's cabin. Another helicopter shot of the Pacific Northwest, or that Sierra Nevada mountains. All the pine forests, the rugged mountains, fantastic. And they shot at the right time of year too. It looks like it's early autumn, just all the leaves turning. Yeah. I wonder if this is just down the road. We know Lockwood's estate's up in the north there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
They can't be too far away from Lockwood Manor. Just
they're supposed to be in the Sierra Nevada. It doesn't say where. I mean, it's kind of a long mountain range. So, in theory, I mean, they could be as little as, say, 100 miles away. It could be 200 miles away, you know?
Yep.
Because they're basically on the other side of the state, not long ways, but width.
Yep, radio.
One's closer to the coast and the other one's closer to the inland border, you know?
That's the border with Nevada, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that fast forwarding all the way to the end of the movie where we see Blue come through the desert, the rocks? Is that meant to be Nevada as well?
That is actually still California. That's supposed to be a little bit further south, where it's a little bit more arid.
Okay. Because, yeah, that's weird.
Basically, the southern and central part of the state is really arid, and you don't really kind of get into that kind of more rainforesty type of foliage until you get to that very northern top into Oregon and Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Basically the Pacific Northwest area.
Yep. But Claire gets out of the new Ford Focus, which makes me wonder if she had to hire a car from the nearest town, because Mills wouldn't... You'd think Mills would send her out in the Bentley.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if, they're sort of trying to stick to the same area, which doesn't really give us an idea time frame of how long it's been since she was at the mansion. I didn't even look to see if she's even still wearing the same clothes from earlier. But as I said earlier, the biggest issue here is this cabin under construction. We get a real nice open vista, open plain. There's a large lake down the bottom of a hill behind the cabin, and those mountains in the background. Talking to some people online on Twitter, and that they said it was confirmed that Owen's cabin in Dominion is this cabin. Without looking, we only get a bit of a frame here. We don't get the completed cabin, but in Dominion, it's sort of, there's a bit of that small hill that Blue and Beta keep on coming down to the cabin, and there's the pine trees that grow pretty much right up to it that look 10, 15-year-old, really, really old trees.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be the same cabin as in Dominion. Not only do they not look, does the area not look the same, but the cabin frame isn't even the same. You know?
Plus the biggest look. Don't nitpick on the area, the design, or anything. We know in Dominion, there's Owen and Claire are sort of on the run with Maisie. People are trying to find her. Surely they'd know this cabin exists. You'd think.
Yeah. I will say, though, is that if he picked this spot, that's one heck of a view. You know? I mean, I could see why he would want to live here.
Well, again...
this might have been almost too conspicuous for him to hide in, because it might have even been a listed address,
Yeah,
or even an unlisted address. People know where to find you.
yeah, and it's not Nublar. If it's not the nature coming back to reclaim the cabin because he's not there. They're living there with Maisie. You'd think you'd keep the trees cut down just to maintain that view. So, anyway, I just thought it was weird that someone made the suggestion whether or not it was the same cabin, and then if people were saying, yeah, it's canon, it's been confirmed that they are the same cabin. So,
I don't remember seeing that. I'd be interested in finding that.
Well, yeah, I'd like to know. I assume it's a tweet from Colin saying, oh yeah, it's the same, just something like that we know doesn't really go down well. But we don't get, there's the RV here, we don't get that in Dominion. He's got a completely different truck here as well, so it's just, again, those little things that just frustrate me as a fan. But anyway, as Claire walks up to the cabin, Owen's singing to himself, but I think he knows she's there and he's singing this song to her. Seems to be some sort of a love song. And as the minute ends, Claire yells out his name, but he ignores her and continues to sing. And there's a couple of words of line there about love, or I love you, and that sort of stuff. So
He definitely knows she's there.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, after she yells again, he just kind of hangs his head like, God, I can't ignore her.
He's got a hammer. Just hammer the nail louder. But we'll get to that next minute. The reconnection of Claire and Owen, and buy me a beer. And good little bit of stuff there. Looking at the novel comparisons quickly, after Mills asks if Claire knows who might be able to help with Blue, Claire replies, Owen Grady won't help you. And Mills looks her straight in the eye, maybe you can convince him. Owen's cabin is said to be in the Sierra Nevada mountains. We don't get that in the film. It's in the novel where it says that's where he is, so again sort of links that to Dominion. But at the time Claire got there, he knew why she was coming, so he's obviously already got the phone call and knows why she's there. But we'll get to that in the next couple of minutes. Dave, I think that's it for minute 18. How about we get over for the week?
All right, sounds good.